Dylan, I just saw this and thought it was interesting. OpenAI is making a phone to try to compete with Apple, supposedly. So it's not like an official announced OpenAI product, but analysts have found I don't know what they found exactly, but it's like the suppliers they're working with, they found like contracts that have been signed. So they're working with Qualcomm and MediaTek for the chips themselves.
Okay.
So from what has been reported on, essentially it's going to be like a new take on the smartphone. So rather than having the grid of apps, it's going to be a agentic AI first.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into it.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like this really is going to put the heat on Apple to get their agentic Siri out and running.
Yeah.
This article here says, this is on CNET. It looks like the timeline's looking like 2028 is going to be when they're mass produced. So couple of years from now before you'll be able to buy one. They're working with former Apple designers. Let me find his name.
Yeah, there was something that went viral like a year ago.
Yeah, Joni Ive.
Yeah, one of the designers.
That'll be cool. I mean, if they get like a solid, sleek looking phone that can, do a lot, that's going to be cool.
Yeah. Be AI first. I think that's going to be huge. Like coming to market with a new product, you don't have a bunch of tech debt, and you don't have to consider the way things used to work. When you're new, you self-select your customers by how you market your product, and you're not alienating other users because it's all just new users.
Yeah. And it's like an entirely new take on it. So
yeah, I think it's time for the extension of the human consciousness gets an update.
Yeah.
Especially with the given last 5 years or so. I think it makes sense.
Are you saying the human consciousness is how we use phones?
No, it's more of I guess it's an extension of the brain or the human experience. I mean, Elon Musk says we're already cyborgs, but the latency is extremely slow because we have to read or listen. So that latency gets a little quicker whenever something is AI native, meaning it can turn plain language into action, which right now you have to write it all out or say the right command to your device to get what you want. But, we've seen already with AI agents, with connecting them with tools and things like MCP, I think that it is very clear that LLMs are able to take a human's intent and turn it into action.
Yeah, definitely. I think to make it work though is going to have to be faster than LLMs are now. Because if that's your interface and you say call Dylan, it can't take 5 seconds to run that all.
Yeah, I imagine they will find a way to run it on the device, reduce latency. They're going to have to, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much Apple is sending to the cloud, but I'm sure there's some models running local on the iPhone, but there's has to be models running in the cloud. Just like, on iPhone, you get suggested memories and stuff that has to be running on the cloud, on iCloud.
Yeah. Yeah, like the more heavy prompts are probably running cloud, but the faster.
Yeah.
I assume on the OpenAI phone, opening an app, whatever that looks like, we'll probably be using a smaller model baked into the phone itself just to make it faster.
Yeah. That I am excited to see where that goes. So do you unlock your phone and it's kind of a chat GPT window with some suggested prompts, call so-and-so or text so-and-so, summarize my texts with so-and-so.
Yeah.
What I'm really excited about is just being able to ask, what do I need to do today according to my messages with my wife? What am I forgetting? Or when's my appointment with so-and-so? I think we spoke before, a calendar kind of goes away because the calendar can be built based on context of your conversations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be nice because I need a calendar, but I never take the time to insert stuff into a calendar.
Yeah, you got to set it up.
So it'll solve that.
Yeah.
I want to read this quote from Sam Altman. He's compared the smartphones we have now to essentially walking through Times Square, where there's all the information you would ever want or need, but it's just overstimulating in your face all at the same time. And they're pitching this new phone more like a cabin by a lake, where it's a very calm atmosphere, I guess, where you can still, get the stuff you need to get done done, but while being able to be at peace.
Yeah, I would love a phone that just has less things shouting at you. I think so. I've deleted pretty much anything you can scroll on my phone except for YouTube, and so I'll find myself on Shorts or whatever, or Google News. But I think breaking the human cycle of wanting to scroll is going to be great.
I think that's gonna be hard though. I feel like I was trying to imagine what like Instagram would look like on this kind of phone, if it would just like, I don't know, show me Dylan's posts, and then it's like still in that kind of chat interface, but it pulls in your posts from Instagram, or if it still just, opens up an entirely different app.
Yeah, I'm sure it will have apps. It'll have to have an app store, and it'll have to run things. But I think it will require all those developers building those apps to expose tools like Apple does. You can expose functionality to like automations. I don't know if you ever messed with like the iPhone automations and stuff, but app developers can, or the way widgets work, if you've ever set up widgets, it's like some widgets are available because the developer of the app allows that. Right. It'd be nice to like add chat abilities to the app, and I think that apps already have like a Siri actions, so things that Siri can do through your app, but it's kind of clunky and doesn't work super well, or adoption is super low just because it's hard to understand how it works with Siri, which is supposed to do so much.
Yeah, because you have to like say the exact command, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't messed with it a lot. I know it's available, but I haven't messed with it just because it's not very intuitive, or I know the adoption rate is low. Like, it's hard to get that going. I'm sure some people have figured that out though.
Yeah, I feel like having like a fully agentic phone, not where it's like sandboxed into different apps, but it would be able to be a lot more user friendly. Like, you could even just ask it like, how do I don't know.
Yeah.
To ask it what commands are available, but you probably don't even need to know the commands. You just tell it what you want and it will go.
It figures it out. Yeah. I'm excited to see what that turns into. So in 2 years, full production, maybe that means by the end of the year, beginning of next year, we get to see a beta.
Yeah.
But I think it's a huge opportunity, and competition is always good. I may still be an iPhone user, but Android pushes iPhone. I don't know that iPhone pushes Android so much, but Android pushes iPhone, and that just makes iPhone better. Yeah,
for sure. While I was looking at this, I realized OpenAI is planning on releasing 5 hardware
products. Okay.
Have you heard of any of these?
No.
Okay, let's go through it.
So real quick. So OpenAI is about to release, or has announced, OpenAI has announced 5 hardware products.
Not announced. These are rumored to be.
Okay, so it's rumored that OpenAI is going to be creating these 5 products.
Correct, yeah. Because they've been bringing in hardware designers and partnering with these hardware manufacturing companies. So yeah, I'm not sure on the exact sources for all these, but let's just go through and pretend it's all real so we can get excited.
Yeah.
So the phone was the first one. The second one is the AI earbuds, which makes sense.
Okay.
Just earbuds you can talk to you. Yeah, and they might have cameras in them so they can have the visual. The other one is like a screenless companion, which I think is, it says this design of like, I'll just read this. It's often described as the third core device, which would be along the phone and the laptop. And it's most in line with Jony Ive's design philosophy. So it's going to be like very sleek, no screen, and the interface would most likely be voice and gesture.
Okay.
It would have cameras as well. So then the fourth one is smart home products, so like a smart speaker.
Sure.
And then the fifth one is actually just the AI chips themselves. So it's not really a consumer hardware, but just the actual.
But they'll manufacture chips. Okay. So that's interesting. So they have the opportunity to kind of take over your world, kind of like Apple has, or Google or Amazon. That makes sense. It's interesting they're going direct to consumer instead of licensing. I think that if you own the distribution, it's harder to make that work, but the upside is limitless pretty much. The hard part is the distribution part, which they're the most popular. Like, I was doing some Google Trends research today, and actually I should share my screen. If you look, let me look this up real quick while you're saying what you're about to say.
Yeah, if you're driving and you're not watching this video, go ahead and just pull out your phone and watch it while you drive.
So let me get this report ready. So I was doing some research. You can go to trends.google.com and do exactly what I'm doing here. But what I did is I went to trends.google.com and I'm comparing ChatGPT with Claude and Gemini. This is over the last 24 hours, but let's go over the last 3 months. So look at ChatGPT's market share, or at least interest share, versus Gemini and Claude. So ChatGPT is just the consumer name brand, household name above Gemini and Claude.
Yeah, it's over like double. Even like the valleys on this chart are still about double the Claude and Gemini.
Yeah, and then we could what would be an open source alternative? I mean, I don't think people are searching alternatives, but maybe
I mean, like DeepSeek, but that's kind of old at this point. But I feel like it's the most known one.
Yeah, DeepSeek is pretty flat. Let's change that to Llama. Yeah, it's pretty flat. But I mean, what this tells you is first to market. If you do well first to market, then you kind of own that. Let's have fun and look at the past 5 years.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Claude and Gemini were above ChatGPT, but that was probably Anthropic Labs. Anthropic probably had a little breakthrough that the world didn't really hear about. I mean, in October 2022, ChatGPT went from 0 to then January of 23 to being 25, and Claude and Gemini didn't change. So
and it just took off from there.
The competitors are picking up, like everybody else is catching up, but man, being first to market is huge there, and they are a household name.
Yeah, I feel like most consumers still don't really know that Claude is on the same level as ChatGPT.
Yeah, I would imagine. So this is interesting. So this is web searches. This is people going to Google. Let's make this smaller. The past 3 months, this is Google. But when you go to YouTube, look at the shift.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. You go to Google just because you hear about something or you want to try something out. You want to do research. But when you are intent-based, whenever you know what you're looking for and you're looking for a tutorial or practical ways to actually go do this, you're going to go to YouTube and watch somebody use it so you understand how you can use it. And so why I bring that up is Claude, as we spoke about, is a little more enterprise driven. They have Claude Code. Claude and Claude Code. Let's compare Claude Code. So they're green. They're still down, but people are searching Claude more. But Claude Code, I think, since they've kind of owned the agentic coding space, Claude by Anthropic they're going to be a little more popular on YouTube because people are more intent based. There's Claude Desktop. Claude has done a really good job at doing the B2B thing and getting people there's what you actually could do with your life, and they use Claude.
Yeah. Will you throw Cursor against Claude Code? I just want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Good. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Claude Code is definitely above Cursor. What's another one?
Oh, wait. Will you go back? Because I think Cursor was a couple of years ago. So this is the past 3 months here. Yeah, so they crossed.
Yeah, so Cursor was the first. I guess that's right. That's a good point. Cursor was the first to market with agentic coding, but theirs was more completions, autocomplete on code.
Yeah.
And they were a fork of a popular code editor called VS Code, which is open source and managed by Microsoft. But Claude Code kind of took that over. I think they did a little better at getting into I remember whenever I started using Cursor, it was after everybody was already using Claude Code.
Yeah.
So Cursor had even been active in the 5-year span. So Cursor had a little bit of market share already.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's crazy how much Claude Code took off in 2026.
Yeah. So this that kind of refutes first to market talks about ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT still it became a verb. Let me ChatGPT it, kind of like you Google it. you know?
Yeah.
And so this is like being first to market's one thing, but having the better product is another, which I personally think Cursor is better, but I think Anthropic has done a better job at marketing Claude.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And getting into the enterprise level.
What I should have done, let me go back, and I need to add XAI. I don't know. They're probably not. Yeah, Grok is definitely still low.
Yeah, never quite took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting though. I'm curious, I wonder if after OpenAI releases their phone, if we see like Anthropic release their own, or if OpenAI kind of owns the AI hardware.
Yeah, there we go.
That's funny. Yeah.
Mid to late April.
Yeah, just spiked.
Anthropic phone.
No shot.
No shot. Nothing.
You misspelled Anthropic.
Anthropic. Maybe that's what it was. That's not it. Was it Twitter or SpaceX going to do a phone?
I heard that as like a shoot.
Or it wasn't SpaceX. It was
Tesla.
Yeah, they're a little more.
Yeah, but that's been like, I remember my grandparents like a year ago, they were like,
yeah,
this phone's coming out next month.
Yeah.
It's just like a YouTube video with 20 views.
Yeah, it's been coming out next month for a couple years now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be keeping up with this and see if maybe I'll buy an OpenAI phone.
Yeah, that is interesting. And yeah, because you've been on the fence with iPhone already, right? You've been considering doing the Android thing.
Yeah, going to the green bubble side.
That's fine. I don't care if you have at this point, because you can react to everything. It is whatever.
Yeah. No, I only didn't do it because I have the MacBook and the Apple Watch. They got me with the ecosystem.
Yeah. You can there's ways for it to work now. There's an app called Blue Bubbles that lets you pull your text messages into your Windows machine or have Blue Bubbles from an Android.
Oh yeah.
Through your iCloud account. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I just heard about that because I know a guy that built he set up OpenClaw to read all his texts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was using Blue Bubbles because it's open source, and what OpenClaw was doing was reading the local SQLite database on the machine he was signed into his iCloud account.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so I've been wanting to play with Blue Bubbles for a while, but it's definitely interesting. So what is this? So how do we tie this back to if you're interested in business, small business? Of course, there's learnings about, licensing versus building your own products, but the practical thing, if you're like in a local business, what does this mean? The iPhone, it may mean like you could buy one for your business and you don't have to worry about the app store. Maybe there will probably be an app store, but maybe there could be automatic like auto replies to text messages. You don't have to go buy a software to do auto text back. Maybe an AI voicemail type of situation. I think voicemail is going to change, by the way. I think that I could have AI Dylan pick up the phone for me and what do you want, essentially, and then determine if it's worth forwarding.
So you won't know when the human Dylan comes on. The AI Dylan starts the conversation. If you decide it's interesting enough, you'll come in, take its spot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already working on that for businesses now, so why not do the personal thing? But I think for the business person, not so much. Maybe you can automate some things. Maybe your phone is a little less, maybe it has more tools for you, because I know a lot of small business owners are publishing their own phone number and people are texting them. So maybe you can set up something. It's like, if this person isn't in my contact or they mentioned this, book a meeting with them or something like that. Yeah. And that's just native to your phone. That would be really nice. Not a ton for the business owner yet in that, but very, very interesting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Well, that's it for this one.
Yeah, thanks, Jackson. I love whenever you do outros. It's great. If you're a small business owner and you're interested in this AI stuff and you want to see if AI works for your business, you can go to infactodigital.com. We've got a lot of stuff there, but the main thing is we have this AI for Small Business webinar. We meet at least once a month and we talk about real use cases of AI in small business, how people are using them, give reports. Or if you just want a written version of the podcast, it's in our blog. You can find those at infactodigital.com. You can even get these in your email every day. You can be the first to know about the latest in AI news like this. And then all your friends will be coming to you, asking you about AI because you'll go into the office say, hey guys, OpenAI is releasing the phone. And they'll say, what? Because you heard it here first on De Facto Daily. All right. See you tomorrow, Jackson.
And if you found value in today's episode, the best way to support the show is to share it with one friend who needs to hear this.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, share it with a friend.
All right.
All
Goodbye.
right, peace.